What's going on, everyone? I know this is coming a little late, actually a lot late, but this is going to be my Nationals Milwaukee recap. So race day comes about, and the morning of, feeling really good, especially after watching the pros the last 2 days. Just super inspired by them, just watching how intense everything is with them from start to finish, even in transition. So it was just super inspiring to watch them, and then being able to race right after them the next day was awesome. So weather was perfect morning of. Kind of just doing my normal warm-up stuff, getting the transition, set up everything like normal, feeling pretty loose. And I kind of noticed that I have a different cap than everyone else. I had a pink cap, and my group actually had a white cap. But I was told that our start time was 7:24. And so I was like, you know what, maybe they're just going in different waves, whatever it is. I'll just kind of figure it out, take a look around and see what everyone else is doing. And I don't really see anyone that is supposed to be in my wave, and I'm like, okay, something's a little off. And I have my wetsuit half zipped up, and it's already starting to get hot. I'm like, I don't necessarily need to put this on if I'm not going. And by now it's like 7:15 or so, and I go up to the front, the guy at the front, and I was like, hey, I'm in this group. We're supposed to take off at 7:24. But I have a pink cap. I don't have a white cap. What's going on? And he goes, no. You guys are already in the water. They're already warming up in the water. You need to get down there right now. And so I was like, oh shit. And so I get down there. I'm running past everyone, pushing them out of the way. I'm like, I need to get in the water. And the officials are like, what are you doing? And I was like, I just need to get in the water. I'm supposed to be in this group. Our time is 7:24. They gave me the wrong cap. Is there a white cap around? And the official gives me a white cap, and the time I get the white cap, figure everything else out, they had already gotten to the first buoy. And so I basically just went in super cold, jumped in off the platform into the water, and just was like, you know what? I'm going out here to redline anyway, so whatever. So I pretty much sprint as fast and hard as I possibly can for the first 150 meters, just to try to catch up to some of the people in my group. And I actually wound up catching them. And I was like, you know what? Now that I caught a few, I'm just gonna dial it back just a little bit. So I dialed it back, probably about like 20% or so, and still was catching people. And so I was like, this is a really good pace. Found a few people to kind of follow in. Got some good feet to follow. So get to the turnaround, come back in, and the course is actually really nice for the swim. We start out right on the peninsula, shoot out probably like 200-300 meters, go under a bridge, make a hard left, and then loop back around and make a hard right. So total of 1,500 meters, Olympic distance swim. Come back, come out of the water, feeling actually really good of where I'm at in position-wise, and actually feeling really good about how my swim is going. And I didn't feel tired. I didn't feel like I pushed extremely hard. I mean, I knew I was pushing a little bit, but not to the point where I was like, okay, I can't run or do anything. So get out of the water, start sprinting to transition, and just feeling really good. Transition one was really slow for me. I didn't set up my position in T1 the best. None of my stuff was ready. My bike computer wasn't on, my helmet wasn't unstrapped, and none of my gels were in my kit. So it was kind of a scramble in transition, and I kind of took it a little bit slower just to gather myself a little bit more and get out on the bike, trying to catch the lead group. I can actually still see them up on the highway because of where transition was and where the turnaround was. And so I could see them, but they were probably like, I don't know, 10 minutes ahead of the lead group. And I knew that I was going to try to catch them the best I could, but overall, I really just wanted to race my race. That was what this whole race and experience was for, is to go into it not like an Ironman race and just really let the training do what it's supposed to be doing. And so I get on the bike, feeling really good. Heart rate's pretty high. I don't know if I was just either nervous because I was pushing so hard in the swim, or if I was just like feeling anxious the whole time just because of how the swing start went. But get on the bike and I said, you know what, I'm gonna push my watts, and whatever those are gonna be, that's what my race is. I'm not gonna try to catch up to the leaders at this point because they're too far ahead, but I know that they're there. And so I pushed probably 230 watts for the first 15 or so miles, and realized that my heart rate is just extremely high. And again, I think this had a lot to do with my anxiety during this race, more or less than like me actually pushing watts, because normal race I'm pushing 270, 260 for 30, 60 miles, just depending on the race. But I was trying to get my heart rate down as much as possible, and I kind of take it back 20 miles or so in, slow down. There was a turnaround at mile 20. I could still see the lead group, but they were probably still 10 minutes ahead, so there was no way I knew I was going to catch them. Average pretty good. Average speed was 23 miles an hour, I think, average. The bike course itself was kind of shitty because there was no mile markers, and I had started my computer so late. So I actually really didn't know where we were. I just kind of had a general idea of where I was based off of the maps. But we had to go across this bridge, and there were a lot of like expansion divots, and it was a pretty like rough ride once we got into the neighborhood as well. But once we got out off the neighborhood and off the bridge, it was a pretty solid ride. It was pretty fun. Coming up 2 hills and then coming back down, rolling. So it was pretty nice. But yeah, get into transition 2, body is feeling amazing. I mean, I felt like I wasn't pushing at all. My heart rate was just extremely high. I think I was pushing like 167 on the bike, which is extremely high for me. And so I knew that I had to kind of get that down, but I also knew that there was only 6 miles left in the run. So this whole race was about just going out there and trying to stick to numbers as best as possible, but, you know, still trying to push and get to the run, trying to get the heart rate low. The first 2 miles, I actually got it down. I got it down to like 140, and I was running at like a 6:30 pace. So it actually wasn't too bad. And then mile 3 is when it just skyrocketed again. It went back up to like 170, 167. And I could feel the lactate. It just was in my body. I was trying to shake it out. I didn't stop at the aid stations to let it rest. I was like, you know what, there's only 3 miles left. I can basically run at this pace and run at, you know, a 167, 170 heart rate for 3 miles. And so I made that decision and ran a 7-minute pace, which is extremely slow. But again, dealing with my heart rate, it is what it is. Like I couldn't, my body and my heart couldn't push any harder. My body felt great, but again, my heart I could feel it. So yeah, I get done with the run and feeling really good about everything, super confident with where I'm at, and Mackenzie comes up to me and says, you know you were in the female division. And I go, no, I don't think so. Was definitely with my group, because I could see them basically the whole time. And I look at the stat tracker, and nope, they have me in the female division, in like the 18 to 24 female division. And I knew that was obviously wrong, so we had to get it fixed as soon as possible. And because they had me in that division, they also started my time at like 7:15 or 7:16 or something like that. And that messed up my entire overall time, because my group went at 7:25. And so that pushed me back essentially 10 minutes on my total time. And I finished what USAT says I finished at 2:30, but it should be around like 2:20 time, roughly. So the whole thing is still wrong. I think I'm still fighting them to try to fix it, because on the tracker it still has me in the wrong division. But if I calculate all the numbers correctly, I placed 40th in the United States. So that's obviously something to be extremely proud of, and I'm really proud of myself with the swim and the way the swim has come and how far it's come. It was actually my fastest swim ever at a event, a triathlon. So it was super exciting to have that kind of just be my base, and since it's something I've been working on for so long now, and actually see results in a race has been awesome. And I know that in the past I've always said that I've struggled with seeing results in my races based off of my training, but this race really showed that my training is getting somewhere with my races, and it's super exciting just to see where I'll be at. I mean, I've had some amazing training blocks here going into it, and then coming out of it, actually I've had just terrific training sessions. So super excited. I want to thank everyone for the support, for getting there. It was just insane. They said they had 10,000 athletes racing, so it was just an incredible atmosphere. And then you had the PTO race, which just made it that much better. So it was such a fun event. Obviously, hopefully I qualify for next year, and it was definitely a learning experience, and it was definitely a lot of fun. But my next race coming up right now, hard in the books, is Ironman Arizona 70.3. I possibly will do one in between that, not sure. Today is September 3rd, so not a whole lot of time between then. I've had a lot of big life changes in the last month or so trying to still figure that out and adjust a little bit, as fitting training in and racing in and everything else as well. So we'll see where we're at in the next 2-3 weeks, and then we'll head out to Ironman Arizona. It'll be a fun race because it's at home, and I get to sleep in my bed for once and have the whole family actually see me race. So it'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and let's go.